Hi YouTube, I'm here today with a much requested review. Several of you have been asking to see the pre-K curriculum, so that's what I'm going to show you really quickly today. There are two things that you need to know about the Good and the Beautiful curriculum before you get to the level K. There's two options. The first one is pre-K, which is what I'm going to show you today, and then there is the primer option. Pre-K was originally geared for kids kind of in that 3-year-old range that really just need a basic introduction to letters and shapes and counting, and it's really simple. There's lots of fun activities, and it's just meant to be really basic. Then there was a big jump to the level K curriculum, and a lot of people felt like that was too much of a jump, so the primer curriculum was created for kind of that 4 and 5-year-old range. If you're familiar with the Good and the Beautiful, you know that the language arts program is fairly advanced for kind of the grade level that it would be considered. So if you have a kid that's a kindergartner, they might not necessarily be ready for that level K. So these options might be better for you. I'm actually doing the pre-K program with my 5-year-old kindergartner. I just want to make sure she has a really good, solid foundation and that we're not missing anything. She really thrives on having lots of different hands-on activities and being able to color and write in her book and do lots of different things. So pre-K has been great for her. You have two options, as you always do with the Good and the Beautiful. You can purchase just the download. You can print everything yourself. You can cut out the games. You can put the mini books together, the little flip books together, and you can download that for $15 on the Good and the Beautiful website. Or you can buy the physical course set, which is what we did. And that is a $36 purchase plus shipping. And when you see everything is in color. The paper is great. The cardstock is great. For me, it's way worth my time to just buy the physical copies from the Good and the Beautiful. I keep all of her stuff in one of these Latchmate bins. These have been super popular on the Facebook groups lately. And I have just a vinyl decal on the front of all of my kiddos' bins so that they know which one is theirs. These are available at Walmart, Michael's, Hobby Lobby, Home Depot even has them. And they're great because they have this tray on the inside. So this is what her tray looks like for the pre-K setup right now. She has some dry erase markers in here. Handy tip, this is an old Crystal Light container. When you used to buy their packets, I always keep these and we use them for markers and colored pencils and everything. She has her own set of colored pencils. She has scissors and glue. You do a lot of money practice in the pre-K, so you need pennies, nickels, and dimes, so we just keep those in there and then we don't have to find them all the time. She has a pencil. That's my pencil, her pencil. We're going to talk about these friction markers later on. My kids are loving these right now. She has a clothespin that's in here. We usually keep a few spare Q-tips. There's lots of like the dot painting things, so we don't have to search for those. And then this is one of the activities that's in there. This is the letter cube. It fits perfectly in the tray and doesn't get smushed when the lid goes on. She's also finishing up Handwriting Without Tears because we used that starting at the beginning of the year, so she's finishing that book up. And then we are going back and forth with math with her. She's doing some Math UC, and she's also doing interactive kindergarten math. The Good and the Beautiful will have math curriculum coming out. I think the kindergarten level comes out in May. I know lots of people are waiting for it, and it's on their website. So when you order the pre-K curriculum, it's going to come with 3 things. The first thing that you're going to get is the course book. This is the pre-K course book with a little dog on it. This does come spiral bound from the Good and the Beautiful. And then you're going to get a set of flip books. And there are 4 of these, and I didn't get mine all out. I'm getting ahead of myself here. There are 4 flip books that go through the whole alphabet. Like this. If you print these yourself, you're going to want to spiral bind these somehow, because when you flip the cover back, you have all of the letters. The first column is the capitals for that section. The middle column is the lowercase for that section. And then at some point you can go through and match up and look for the letter, the picture that matches the letter. So there's N for nest. and it tells you when in the course book to use these cards. This comes already exactly like this, bound and printed if you buy the physical course. The only thing you have to do is actually cut along the dotted lines to make your little flippy cards, but that is the set of 4. And then you have the activity packet. The activity packet comes on super nice, heavy duty cardstock. Everything is printed in color. Let's set that off to the side for a second. And it's just this shrink wrapped pack of 8.5 by 11 cardstock games. So those are the 3 things that you get: the course book, the flip books, and the activity packet. Okay, so let's look at things one at a time. I'm going to try to not get ahead of myself and out of sync here. The pre-K course book is consumable. So if you have multiple kiddos that you're going to do pre-K with at the same time, you want a course book for each kid. You can definitely use the flip books and the activities with each of them. But if you look at this, and obviously she's been working on this, so it's already written in. Here are some of your activities. So they're going to trace the letters. They circled the capital A's. The next page was cutting practice, so we already did that one. But every page is in color. It has the illustrations and the artwork that you're used to seeing with The Good and the Beautiful, or if you're not familiar with it, this is what it looks like. Then you ask your student questions about the picture, and they answer them, and it helps to review the letters and numbers and colors that you've been working on. There is a sample of this so that you can see more of what's in the course book, but I do want you to see it's all in color, so if you choose to print it yourself, that's something to consider. There are 53 lessons, and there are 112 pages in this course book if you're thinking about printing it yourself, plus if you want to bind it yourself as well. And they're going to write on pretty much every page. So I know I've seen people ask, can I just print the pages that they're going to write on? Yes, you can, but it's going to be almost all of the pages. So this is the course book. We usually do about a lesson a day. Sometimes we do 2 lessons if she's going through them super quick. It tells you everything that you need to say. The blue text is what you read to your child, gives you the instructions. Everything is spelled out for you. It's all laid out for you. It tells you when to use the flip books, when to do the activities, what supplies you need if there's any sort of little arts and crafts projects. Super easy to use. We already talked about the flip books a little bit, but I'll show you. There are 4 of them, M through S. Okay, so there's A through F at the beginning, G through L, M through S, and then T through Z is the one that we're finishing up right now. So you have these 4 flip books to go through as well. Usually you're working on the flip book that corresponds with the letter in the course book, but sometimes you can go back and review, and sometimes we go back and review just for fun and just to help keep those things in her brain. So those are the flip books. Then the activities. Let me show you one of these. Come on, like I said, it's just 8.5 by 11. This is cardstock, and then it's kind of glossy cardstock too, so it has the nice shine to it. What I did was I went through and prepped all of the activities ahead of time. And there are 2 that are kind of big. There's Feed the Elephant, and you're gonna give him the little peanut letters to help reinforce that set. And then there is a number slider that they just go through and they practice their numbers 5 through 10, and you slide the little number slider down. Both of these are kind of on the bigger side, so I've put each of them in these plastic poly envelopes, and I will put an Amazon link to these if you want to. There's several different packet sizes and colors and all that kind of stuff. We use these for our science units as well, so I just have a whole stack of them. So those 2 are bigger. Then what I've done for the smaller games and the flip books is I've used the zipper pencil pouches, again, because I have a million of them, and usually in like September you can get them for 25 or 50 cents at Walmart, so I always just have tons of those, but I can put a link to those too if you want to see them. So this is a game called Mouse House. My 5-year-old is smiling back there because we just played this the other day. She likes this one. Where you set out all the little houses, and then you hide the little mouse, and then your kid tells you the letter and the letter sound, and then they pick it up and they're trying to find the little mouse. So that's one of her favorites. The mouse has a name, but I can't remember the mouse's name right now. And she's just smiling, so she's not going to tell. So those cards are all in there. There's one that's similar. It's called Hide and Seek Pets, where there's little pets that you do. There's letter memory. So these are just like memory cards that you cut out. This one you use at the end. So they're going to have to match the letters, capital and lowercase. So I've just thrown all of these games. They each have their own pencil pouch, and that way it's super easy for me when I'm flipping through the course book and it says play hide and seek pets. She can go run and grab this. All the pieces are in here, and it keeps them from getting lost and bent up and all that kind of stuff. I am like the laminating queen. Some of you are more laminating than I do, but I laminate a ton of stuff, and I haven't laminated these yet. That heavy duty cardstock seems to be holding up really well. I don't let her like drag these around and play with them on her own. My 3-year-old that's coming up next is maybe not quite as careful with things, so they might get laminated before she starts pre-K. But the cardstock really has been holding up really well. So that is kind of the 3 main parts of the pre-K curriculum. Again, you're focusing on letter recognition and learning the sounds, counting up to 10. There's some color and shape recognition, and then obviously you're doing lots of kind of what I consider to be picture narration, where you're asking them the questions about the pictures and they're answering them. You know, so it might be the boy is wearing a hat. What does hat start with? H, you know, kind of those sorts of questions. So you're focusing on that. You're focusing on your letters. And then the activities are really meant to reinforce those. So that's the very beginning level of language arts for the good and the beautiful. This is the pre-K curriculum. Once you finish this, then your child would want to go on to the primer curriculum, and then you can move into level K1 and up. We have really, really enjoyed this. Oh, I forgot one. The game cube. I mentioned it when I was showing you what's in her tray. This is the cube that you cut out, then they can roll it, and then they tell you the letter name and the letter sound. That was the activity I was missing. I'm sorry I missed that one. But we have really, really liked this. It's been a good kind of spark for her. She learns differently than my 8-year-old, and so this has just been more hands-on and colorful and fun. And it's super simple to put together. There's not a ton of stuff to cut out and prep. If you laminate everything, that would be another step, but you really probably don't need to. And then the nice thing is with her tub, then those 2 envelopes fit in the bottom. The games and activities fit on the top. These go in their own little zipper pouch. Then her course book is in here. Her tray fits in here. She can grab this whole thing, do school wherever it is that we're doing it. Everything fits nicely and goes all together in this tub. So if you're curious, I will leave a link to the good and the beautiful below. Once we get primer set up, we'll review that too. History is on its way. I'm super excited about that one. If you haven't seen my videos to set up science units, check those out as well. If you have questions or you want to see other things or ways that we're setting up our school, I would be happy to share those with you. And if you have questions about the curriculum or how we're doing things, leave those in the comments below and I will answer them down there. And check the links for Amazon if you want to see where we get our envelopes. I can link to the bins and some of our other supplies that we use. So thank you so much for watching. I hope this video was helpful for you. Happy homeschooling.